of other types of protein too, but animal flesh is the hardest to digest because it's very fibrous and dense. We overproduce stomach acid, we talked about that, but we have a much more rapid production of an enzyme called pepsinogen. We peak out at the highest level of pepsinogen 15 minutes into the meal, and that's why we get such a jump on digesting red meat. When you talk about an A, they don't produce as much pepsinogen, and they produce it later in the process, and that's why they don't digest red meat well. Additionally, we produce an enzyme they don't called IAP, intestinal alkaline phosphatase, which is very helpful in digesting the fat part of the animal protein. Now, when we looked at the O's food pie, we talked about fats, meats, and fruits. The O gets his energy from fats and meat protein. We need more fat than any of the other blood groups. Now, this does mean good fat for good health, but when I hear about people on a low-fat diet, if they're an O, it's almost a scary thing because they need fat. They need 20% of their fat, 20% of their energy from fat. And if you've ever been on a low-fat diet, did you feel like you were dragging, like something was wrong? Something was wrong. You really were lacking the fat for production of energy. So low-fat diet is not good for O's. Now, when we talk about O's who don't eat red meat, you have to supplement and be sure you get plenty of protein from another source. And O's typically depend on red meat for B vitamins and iron. When you don't eat red meat, you have to get those vitamins some other way. So as long as you're aware.
I take a lot of supplements.
Okay. Now the downside to great digestion is we're prone to ulcers, gastritis, duodenitis, and arthritis, prone to all of the acid-related conditions. Type O's have glucose, that's their blood sugar, and it is favored by H. pylori. Have y'all heard of H. pylori? No. Okay, it is a very nasty bacterium. It's kind of corkscrew shaped, and it tends to drill itself into the stomach lining and then to secrete a chemical that protects it from stomach acid. So it becomes very hard to treat. 70% of the world has H. pylori, but it tends to be more in underdeveloped nations because it's from fecal contamination. But when you eat out, you don't know, you know, people preparing food, you don't know what they've been doing. So the O is more prone to that infection because it likes the glucose as a food source. And then we're very, very prone to inflammation of the stomach lining, once again, because of all the acid. Now, y'all are familiar with the book? Anybody read the book? Okay. So, does anybody remember the basic approach in the book, how Dr. D'Adamo handles food? If you haven't read it, you won't know. Go ahead. He divides all food into groups, and then he divides them into beneficial foods, meaning they actually enhance your body function, neutral foods, which neither hurt you nor harm you, and then avoid foods. So on any given day, what you want to do is eat most of the beneficials, eat from among the beneficials, avoid the avoids, and the neutrals are fair game. So here I've listed some of the beneficial foods for O's. You don't necessarily have to write all this down. It's in the book. It's very definitely in the O-specific book. You can even check it out online. But among meats, beef, buffalo, lamb are very good for O's. There's a listing of fish. So, you know, we think of fish as a good food, but going back to the guideline, not all fish is good for each of the blood groups. They all have good fish and bad fish. What I want you to notice on this slide is there is no beneficial dairy. And I don't know about you, but that was very hard for me because I like cheese.
Or grains.
I tell you, I gave up coffee about 4 weeks ago, and I had allergy testing done actually here, and it turned out that my body didn't like the coffee, didn't like the caffeine, didn't like the dairy, and didn't like the sweetener I was putting in it. And I thought, when your body doesn't like anything in the cup, maybe it's time. And I did. And I have to admit, I do feel better. It's a shame.
I noticed venison is not up there, and I thought that was a good
It probably is. I didn't pull every single one.
Gotcha.
I just pulled some of the majors to be able to make an example.
Yeah, thanks.
Oil, so flaxseed oil is actually beneficial.
Rapeseed.
Olive oil.
Is this from the book?
This is from the book,
Okay.
straight out of the book. I didn't list every single thing because it would be slides and slides.
I will tell y'all the chart is going to be a little slightly different, so you may want to go by the book.
Oh, the charts are
Yeah, I'm going to hand out the charts in
Okay.
a minute.
seeds, beneficial: walnuts, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds. And the only two beans that are beneficial for an O are the adzuki and the black-eyed peas. Now, there are lots of neutrals, and you're welcome to eat the neutrals. There's nothing wrong with them. But your body actually thrives on these.
Right.
So these are among the beneficial foods in the other categories. Somebody asked me about breads earlier, any of the sprouted grains. So a seed bread is actually beneficial to you. Your body likes it.
I've never seen that. Don't carry that here?
Do you carry a seed?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Veggies, and you'll see an assortment there. Sweet potato there. Notice no white potato there. Onions, ginger, very good for you. Among the fruits, what I want you to notice is there are no blackberries or strawberries up there, no honeydew. So the only melon that's okay for no is watermelon. Clear? So, again, what is the number one thing we're going to avoid? You're going to need a dump truck to get out of here. And you see the other things on there, the very things we talked about earlier. Now, here are some suggestions as replacements in certain circumstances. Yep. So here's a listing of the things that are avoid foods for you. So these are foods that chemically do not interact with your blood group well, and they cause agglutination, which can lead to the minor symptoms or the major symptoms.
Butter's okay, huh? Butter and ghee?
Ghee is preferred, butter's neutral.
Pork is an avoid among all of
That's
the
right.
blood types.
Good point. Pork is an avoid for all blood groups.
And it's the most acidic meat. Pork is.
Pork is.
Sorry,
Are these
I
charts?
really
No,
don't like
that's
pork,
okay.
so
No, I'm-
let's get going.
In the blood type on your page.
Huh?
Are these charts?
That's pretty much the only pork.
Yes, it is.
It's also the one meat that's most likely to give you any kind of parasite.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Pork, yeah, that's what you were
Very
saying.
Takes the longest to
Very
digest.
important.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
don't
you
know
can
much
see in the
of
other categories, the items that you should try to eliminate from your diet. And when you avoid, a disappointment to me, the tangerines and oranges for
Absolutely, no grits.
no grits, they're
I
corn.
used to eat grits all during my childhood.
We're from Louisiana. I guarantee we ate grits.
Grits with
growing up.
butter.
Yeah.
Grits with
Do some topically, so it's okay.
Are there supplements listed in this?
Yes, and we're going to talk about them too. In fact, what a straight guy. Here we go, right into supplements. So the purpose of supplementation, when we talk about blood groups,
That's a good segue.
exactly, is to counteract the things, our weaknesses. So that's why we supplement, right? In particular, we want to address blood clotting activity, inflammation, and thyroid. Claire, if you'll go forward.
Okay.
Now, you asked me about Bladder earlier, and there it is. Here are the list of supplements that they recommend very specifically for O's. Now this is in addition to your normal multivitamin, fish oil, probiotics, the things you would more normally take that every blood group would take. These are the things over and above that are designed to very specifically address weaknesses in the O blood group.